Welcome to my channel, Ana Lana. Today we are going to learn how to knit this beautiful sweater. This is the part one. This is a very large sweater, good for 3 sizes, and it falls below the hips. And if you look for me in YouTube, look for Ana for Lana, and when you see this cut, click it and you will see all my videos. And for this sweater, I use 600 grams of this medium-sized yarn and also knitting needles of 5 millimeters is the number 8 in the USA, and crochet hook of 5.5 millimeters. I am sharing the measurements with you. This is good for 3 sizes, small, medium, large, because it's very loose and comfortable. Remember to look through the whole video and give me a like and subscribe. This is the part one, so it's going to be easier for you to follow up. Well, we are going to start knitting the back. It's going to be a rectangle. Again, it's going to be with the straight needles, but I like to start with 100 chains in crochet using crochet hook of 5.5 millimeters to make it easier for the foundation. Okay, I am done with the 100 chains, and now I'm going just to change the needle, and I'm going to be using the straight needle with which is 5 millimeters, is the number 8 in the US, and I'm going to be using each space. I'm going to leave just one single loop at the bottom, you see, and now I'm going to enter the needle and pull the yarn, enter and pull the yarn until I end up with 100 stitches on the needle. So the first 2 rows of this sweater are going to be the base. We are going to purl 2 rows. So row number 1, we just pass the first one and purl all the points, all the stitches. So we are still this is the end of row number 1 of the base. So turn the work and we continue with the base, and this is row number 2. So again, this is going to be purl. Pass the first one and we are going to purl all the way. So the pattern of the sweater is very easy. We are going to do 3 lines, 3 rows as jersey, and then one is going to be purl. It's going to be reversed. So I'm going to go over the details, but it's very easy. So here we have already the base. We already said that it was going to be 2 rows being purl. So now we are going to start with the pattern. Row number 1, first pass the first stitch and then purl. Make all the ones on the reverse, on the wrong side. So now this is our first row, and now we are going to continue with the second row, and row number 2, we pass the next one, and then we are going to knit all the stitches. Now we finish the second row. This is the last stitch. And now we are going to just be stretching it a little bit and turn the work. And now we are going to continue with row number 3. So we pass the first, and then we are going to purl. So we purl all the way. And just to make sure that we have the right count, we just count them on the wrong side. You see, when we are looking here, sometimes it's hard to tell, but if we look at the back, we can see already 3 rows, and then we know we are ready for the 4th. So we are done with the 3 rows in a jersey pattern, and now we are just going to cut the group, and we are going just to purl. So we are going to be knitting groups of 3 with the jersey pattern, and then the 4th one is going to be purl because we are going to be cutting the group. So let's purl all the way. And it will look like this. So let's continue in this little sample. So I already did the 4th row. I purled all the way. Now I turn the work, and I'm going to be just doing again the row number 1 of the next one. and I'm going to be doing all purl. Okay, so we leave the row below, we leave it in the different pattern. All right, so now I turn the work and I will do row number 2 again for the group, and because I want it to look like knitting, so I will be knitting. So row number 2 we knit, and again we turn the work and we do row number 3, you see, and we will be passing the first stitch and then purl. Okay, so now I have my second group and I'm going to divide it with the row that is going to be different. So the next one is going to be purl. So let's go and do row number 4, purl. So we are going to continue like that, making this type of groups, and we are going to make a total of 33 groups. This will measure around 54 centimeters, all depending on how you knit, but this is about the length that I got. Okay, so we already got 33 groups, and I just needed the last row, which is the contrast row, and now I turn the work, and the next row I'm just going to knit it in the wrong side, so I'm going to purl. Okay, so I'm just done with this very last row, and now I turn the work, and I just want to measure just to make sure, just to see what is the length I have. And so far I have about 54 centimeters, which is 21 inches. Of course, if I stretch it, it's going to be longer, and it's going to end up longer anyway, because remember that we are going to be blocking the sweater. Okay, so we are going to be closing this piece. We knit and then pass the first loop over the second. Knit, pass the first loop over the second. And then we are going to continue like that until we are done with the complete row. Well, this piece is very stretchy, but so far we have a length of about 54 centimeters, 21 inches, and the width is about 56, and sometimes it gives me 60 centimeters, which is 22 or 23 inches. Again, it's very stretchy, but it's going to be a wide sweater, so feel free to make it bigger. Okay, so we are going to start working now on the front. We are going to make 50 chains using the crochet hook, and now we are done, and we are going to be pulling the yarn through every single hole. So total we are going to be having 50 points for the base. So same thing we did for the back, we are going to work on the base. So we will purl 2 rows. After we are done with the base, we are going to begin with the design, and we purl 1 row. Then for row number 2, we will knit. And then we will purl row number 3. So it's going to be exactly the same pattern that we did for the back. And the only thing is we will just do 31 groups, because there we will stop to just create a little curve for the neck. Okay, we already got to the group number 31, and now these 10 first points, I'm going to close them because I just want to make like a little entrance here for the neck. So I'm going to put a marker in the stitch number 10. Okay, so now we are going to be closing the first 10 stitches to create the neck. So I'm going just to purl 1, and then the first loop, I will be just passing it over the second. And again purl, and then the first loop I will pass it over the second. And now I'm getting close to the marker. So I'm going just to, again, purl, and then pass the first loop over the second. And now I'm going to remove the marker because I just got there to my 10th point. And I will purl the rest of the row. So I just finished with these 40 points, and now I'm just pulling it a little bit, stretching it, because anyway, this type of stitch is going to stretch out. Okay, so now I'm going to continue. Okay, so this is the second row of the group number 32, and we are knitting. Now we'll continue. Just remember that we stop in group number 31 and we close 10 stitches. And now we need to do another two groups in number 32 and number 33 to be exactly the same length than the back. All right, so my third row is going to be purl, and we are almost done with the group number 32. All right, so now I'll continue and I'll be doing the fourth row, that is the one that breaks the pattern. And then I will be doing one more group and I'll be done with the total of 33 groups to be exactly the same way that the back is. Okay, so this is the group number 33, and I already did the fourth line, that is the one that interrupts the pattern. And now we are going to proceed to close the whole row. Okay, so we are going to pass the first one and we are going to purl. And again, we are going to pass the first loop over the second. So again, purl and pass the first one, so over the second. And we are going to continue like that. Okay, so I'm done closing this last row, and now I have this loop. I'm going to pull the yarn and I'm going to cut. So I'm going to use that piece of yarn probably to help me joining the back and the front. So let me just make sure that things are going the way I want it. So I'm going just to put them together. Hold on, this is the wrong way. This is good. It shows me that both pieces have the same number of rows, so I'll be fine. This front part, which is the right side, will have 50 chains, also a base that is composed by two rows that we will purl, and then the pattern. And again, we are going to do 31 groups, and then we will start forming the neck. So now that we are in group number 31, so let's start creating the neck. So we're putting the parts together, and this is what we are going to form. We are going to be closing 10 points and then doing two more groups. So let's continue and I'll show you how to do it. So we are going to close 10 points and then we will continue knitting the rest of the row. Okay, so we just finished the second row and we are going to be working now on the third row. This is the group number 32. So now we are going to purl. So we are almost done with group number 32, and now we just need one more group to be the same length that the back. Okay, so this is row number 4, which is the one that is going to be cutting the pattern, and we are going to purl. So I just finished with the two groups, and now I'm just going to do the last row that is going to be the one that we always make against. So we will purl. So I just finished the very last row, and now we are going to just close all those 40 points. So we are going to slip the first one and then purl, and then take the first loop and pass it over the second. And we are going to continue closing the way that we always do, for all these 40 points. Okay, so we are going to start putting the parts together, and I'm going to join the front part to the back by the shoulder. So I don't have enough left over of the yarn here, so I'm going just to use a new thread. Okay, so we are going to just join the two corners, and I'm going to make a soft knot just to keep it together. And then I'm going to just to start joining loop with the loop. Loop in one side, and then we go to the other side, and we will be sewing it like that. And it's going to be looking very nice. And we are going to be trying to hide all those loose ends. I'm going just to be sewing them together to avoid them to be floating around. And I try not to make any knots either, so it's just matter of just sewing over them. Soon we are going to start making the sleeves, but first we have to make sure that the front and the back part are parallel. So we are going to join them at least for few rows. We are going to put some stitches just to make sure that one side is not going to be longer than the other. Okay, so when you are joining them, make sure that the lines coincide. So they are going to be looking like in a circle. This is the way, so you just do stitch by stitch and it will go like that. Okay, so now we are going to start measuring the armhole, and we take a meter from the top of the shoulder until we get 23 centimeters or 9 inches. And then we will put a marker here in the middle of the shoulder at the top, and also a marker in each side where we get 23 centimeters or 9 inches. When I count, I will end up with 14 groups on each side. So that is going to be our measurement. Just remember that this is going to stretch down, so we will have probably a bigger armhole. We are going to continue, and I'm going to take the yarn that I have, and we are going to pull the yarn through one of the spaces at the bottom. And again, we are pulling it again. So we are going to use each space, and we are going to pull the yarn. So we are going to end up with 30 points from the marker until the top of the shoulder where we have the other marker. And once we get to the top of the shoulder, we'll continue down with another 30 points. So the total of the armhole is going to be 60 points. So we are going to start with row number 1, purl all the way. And if you notice, I have the sweater inside out. So just make sure you have it that way. Okay, I'm getting to the end of row number 1. And now I'm going to turn the work and start with row number 2. So you see, now we are in the right side of the sweater. So we are going to knit all the way for row number 2. So basically, we are going to do the same design, the same pattern that we have in the sweater. So now I went ahead and I did the 3 rows. So now I'm going to do the 4th row, which is the one that is going to cut the design, right? So we can see that if we continue in the jersey, we will be doing purl. But now, because we are cutting it, we will be knitting. So this is row number 4, and it's a knit all the way. Okay, so we'll have them. You see 3 rows like in a jersey type, and now we have the one in pearl cutting the design. And we are going to continue making groups until we get 20 groups, which is about 36 centimeters or 14 inches. Remember, we are going to be blocking this, so you can make the sleeve as long as you want. It's just matter of blocking it. But so now when we get to the 20th group, we are going to be closing it. And the closing process is the same that we have been using throughout the sweater. Bueno, ya estamos finalizando el cierre de esta manga y ya esta es mi última puntada. We are going to start making the cuff, which is going to measure about 7 centimeters. We are not going to cut this yarn. We are going just to continue it. And we are going to utilize a crochet hook, a 5 millimeter or 5.5. We are going to pass it through the opposite side and bring the loop inside the other side. And then we are going to make 13 chains. At the end of the 13th chain, we are going to turn back and look for this belly and then make a single crochet. Let's look for the belly and then make a single crochet. And we are going to continue down until we finish with 12 single crochets. Like it this way because then when we finish the cuff, it's going to be easy to join it for the other side. It's going to look more natural. So here I'm getting to the end. This is the number 12 single crochet. And once I'm done, so I'm going just to measure to the base. And here I am going to do a single crochet. Then I'm going to leave a couple of spaces. And again, I put the yarn and then slip stitch. And this is the way that I'm going to start coming up. So going up, I'm going to make sure that I'm going to use the loop outside, the exterior loop. That way we will be creating a nice band. So I got here to the last point, but I'm going to take both loops. I'm going to put the crochet hook through the whole point, through the whole stitch, and then bring the yarn, single crochet, and a chain. So turn the work, and now we are going to start going down, and again we are going to be using the loop on the other side, the exterior loop. Okay, and now I'm here at the end. Again, I measure and I will be putting a slip stitch, pulling the yarn, and then I'm going to leave few more spaces because remember I want this to be more stretchy and I want the cuff to be just precise. Okay, and then I'm going to continue up using again the exterior loop. And I'm going to be trying on every time that I can the cuff, and now I think I'm in the right size. So I got here to the end. So what I'm going to do is just to pull the yarn, and you see this is what I was telling you why I like to start with the bellies, because it's going to be much easier just to find the loops from one side and join them to the other. So we are going just to make sure that this is parallel, that we have the same number of loops, and then this is going to be much faster. So we are going to do a slip stitch. So again, loop against loop and another slip stitch, and we will go all the way up this way. Okay, so we got to the last slip stitch, you see, and now I'm going to do a chain and I'm going to pull the yarn and I'm going to cut it because then I'm going to be using a tapestry needle to hide the yarn. Okay, so you see how easy it looks, but the only thing is sometimes we can see like a little V, you see that is coming down a little bit, so we are going just to make it even, and I'm sewing with the other side. and just emulating a stitch. You see, now it looks very even. And now I'm just going to be hiding the thread. And our next step is going to be joining the sides. But look how nice it looks. It's just my size. So just to make sure that things are going to continue looking symmetric, I'm going just to um, be putting a marker here at the end of the armhole just to make sure that the pieces don't move. And we are going to make sure that these rows, the ones that we did with pearl, are going to be looking straight. So it's going to continue like the circle. And we are going to be using the tapestry needle and just sewing all the way and closing the sweater. And with this, we are finalizing part one of this beautiful sweater. And in the next video, I will be teaching you how to do the neckband, the border for the buttons, the pockets, which are beautiful, and the bottom elastic band. Okay, my friends, I hope you enjoyed this video and you are ready to give it a try. And just remember to give me a like and subscribe because next time I will see you in my channel Ana Lana with part two of this tutorial. Okay, thank you.